it goes. Yay! Daddy needs his scoops. Live from the fourth sub-basement of the Guys, Games, and Beer Towers. It's a podcast that makes you feel dirty just listening to it. It's Guys, Games, and Beer! Oh, it is a dirty, bad show.
It's going to be tonight.
Hey!
Right on cue!
It's Guys, Games, and Beer!
Yeah! Heavy on the beer part.
Sitting on the floor there, Matt?
We can make room, grab it.
I would give you this chair, but it's probably really sweaty now.
Okay.
She's just been sweating all over
I'm
it.
really sweaty.
Never mind that.
Just sweating all over everything.
Just so hot.
Okay, so I think it's about time we start beer cart, seeing as she's all sweaty and needs a beer.
Seconds ago, I started to look for the beer court logo, and
Yeah, so we'll start passing those around.
I'll start passing it around while you find that logo.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about.
Yeah, this is actually, I
There's a
am
cool
too.
story behind this.
There is actually.
So we'll get
Well, I'm
started.
going to let you describe it then, because you know the story too.
Yeah.
So.
But other than that, while he's
We gotta
looking
get
for a
the logo off
Has
the
anybody
side.
played anything cool lately?
No, I went ahead and I told you guys, Doom was on sale for $15.
Yeah, you bought
the
that,
new
you
Doom,
played
so needless to say, for $15, I'm in.
Yeah.
I love me a sale, but
Yeah.
I have not had a chance to sit down and play it. You're almost done with the damn game.
finished it. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, never.
Finished it.
You
Damn,
finished the
I
damn game.
put it off too. I did not want to finish that last
Couldn't get ready for
game.
next day?
Versus school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting ready for Mech Day. That's really cool. So lots of new goodies for this Mech Day too. Holy crap, we got a lot of new goodies
Yeah,
for
the
this
dog
Mech Day.
tags looked really good.
Yeah, we're making custom little dog tags for it for all our mech pilots.
Yeah, again, I think I'm gonna dress up this year. I'm gonna go full nerd.
I don't know. You're gonna have to go pretty far to top Jim last year.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
yeah.
He came looking like
But I-
holy shit.
I know the Steel Battalion universe, so I got that going. For
Oh,
me, you know, so.
there you go. Just the part.
Yeah.
And may or may not wear clothes. That's my dress up.
That's fine.
It's Naked Mech Day. Yeah.
No.
It's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know, if you go shirtless, Davis is gonna go shirtless. So yeah.
Even if you don't go shirtless,
Davis
Davis
is
is
Yeah,
also
that's
shirtless.
Shirtless Saturday.
Yeah. All right, we got the logo.
Sure.
All right, let's do this.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Beer
Beer
court.
court.
Hey, well, I
Uh,
just opened it.
Oh.
So for this year or this week's brew, we've got a pretty interesting. It's the My Turn series from Lakefront Brewery. So this one is Dylan. So we're going to be drinking Dylan tonight. How this works is Lakefront Brewery out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, has a pretty interesting system where people who work at the brewery and know anything they care to know about brewing can actually submit their own recipes, and they will make small batches to use at the Lakefront Brewery and sell. And if they're popular enough, they will actually distribute them in larger batches. And this is how we got Dylan.
This is the story.
Dylan, unfortunately, is a small batch.
This is not a story of trafficking.
I would
but-
say he came willingly. We
Yeah.
didn't have to kidnap him.
But it's pretty cool that they actually let people who work at Lakefront put their own input and brew interesting beers. They're really good about rotating what they brew, which I like a lot about Lakefront.
Yeah, we haven't done Lakefront in a while either.
Yeah,
But
they
there
were good
are
about
so
switching stuff
many
up.
new things coming out from them. So right now, this is a Dortmunder Lager.
All right, I'm gonna read out the
You gotta read the
description.
description on the
Regular
back.
people, extraordinary beer. Everybody in this place is a part of your beer. Okay. From the guy dumping hops in the kettle. It is green. From the guy dumping hops in the kettle to the guy putting cases on the pallet. These people work hard behind the scenes every day, not getting the recognition they deserve. Now it is their turn to create their own beer from start to finish. Each new My Turn series beer is unique, just like the person who brewed it. Give this thing a try and start getting to know us one beer at a time. Dylan brewed this beer. He's a tour manager here at Lakefront. Most of his job is making sure the tours start on time, the guides hit their marks, and our customers leave happy. In short, he keeps the tour engine purring like a kitten. When he's not keeping the tour alive, train chugging along, Dylan pops down on his bed with a slice of pizza, his Gibson Les Paul that's so Wisconsin,
That is Wisconsin.
and works on lyrics for his band. Sometimes his rescued pit bull, Stella, joins him, at least until the pizza's gone. When the writer's block sets in, he enjoys camping in Wisconsin Northwoods with his old man and backpacking through Europe with his lovely lady. Aw. It's like a little, I feel like I'm gonna date this beer.
I was just gonna say.
I'll swipe right.
Yeah. I was gonna say that all sounded made up.
Yeah, but yeah, you know.
It does kind of sound like, yeah.
It's
I
better.
agree.
Dylan's this guy who works for us. He comes to job, does an okay job.
Yeah, so we decided we'd make his beer.
Yeah.
All right, let's give it a try.
Wait.
I actually had some.
I'm so
He was
unprepared.
too busy talking.
Too busy talking. All right, yeah, get a good sniff.
Here we go.
Maybe it's just the cherry slices, but I'm not a big fan of this.
I'm generally not a fan of lagers, so.
Me neither.
I mean, it's actually got some taste for a lager.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It is a little more flavorful.
It's no Miller Lite, which is always a compliment.
I gotta say, Dylan, like in every after-school special, was like the date rape jock. Like,
That's true.
no, I
Dylan,
can't.
Chad.
Dylan's like, yes,
Chad.
yes, you can.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it for a lager. It's got a little caramely taste to it, and again, that could be the cherry slices we had before the show started.
Yeah, you guys gotta stop doing that to yourself.
Or during, because
I
that's
went
been
to a-
my jam.
I went to a wine tasting the other day, and it was eating combos, and the sommelier made fun of me hardcore, and it tasted awful.
Combos and wine? I don't know. It doesn't sound too bad to me.
No, it tasted really bad.
You gotta have the right wine for combos. Usually comes in a box.
Yeah.
You know,
Transient.
I think this is gonna be your Jack of all trades, master of none beer. Like,
Yes.
it's not going to be anybody's favorite cup of tea. The first thing they're gonna go to, but it's not a bad beer. I don't think anybody's gonna like really dislike it.
No, and again, it's a lager with flavor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's you know, and okay, again, as everyone knows, I'm a lager and pills drinker. It's a good solid lager. It's again, is it? Oh my God, this is the best lager I've ever had. No, but is this a really good solid lager? Yes, it is. It's again, a little bit of bitterness, a little hoppiness on the finish, caramel notes in the beginning, so you get that kind of, you can taste the roasted grains in it. It's a solid lager.
Just
I
like
would-
his description, Dylan is.
When it came to Wisconsin beers, like
Yes.
I would honestly take this over a spotted cow.
I agree.
I like this.
Oh yeah, easily.
I agree.
Yeah, if I'm honest, I have of course I originally loved Spotted Cow because it was like, wow, this isn't total garbage, and then after like 3 or 4 more over time, it's just like, oh, this beer's really boring and I don't like it. I'll drink other things.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
This
like
is a gateway beer.
Yeah.
Right. Just like Spotted Cow is.
Yeah,
Spotted
no,
Cow
that's-
is a gateway beer to better beer.
That is a very good point, actually, and
It's
that's.
not Keystone.
It's funny how many people use Spotted Cow
That's
as
not
a
a gateway beer. That's a gateway drug.
So no, a lot of people use Spotted Cow as a gateway beer because it's a non-offensive beer.
Right.
It's
Right.
It's not too hoppy. It's not too strong. It's very middle of the road. But it's not crappy beer either.
Right.
So it makes a difference. And again, same with this. It's nothing. Again, nothing overpowered. There's no flavors in here that overpower you. There's no
Right.
flavors, that are displeasing. And it's just a good, solid lager.
Yeah, it's real boring.
And
Yeah,
It's like
it's,
lager.
Okay.
that's the biggest drawback. Is this a boring ass beer? But
Well, a lot of their other My Turns are great.
yeah,
Are and unique. And
Right. And
yeah, a lot of their other my turn. Frankly, it says each beer is unique, but they've all been fucking IPAs. So I've not bought a single fucking one of them because I'm just like,
Well, yeah, they're all hipsters with big mustaches.
that's true.
Try this
I'm going to make the
I use
best hibiscus.
Doing the twizzle.
Hey, now that I got it,
Yeah, you might as well, man.
I might as well do the twist
That's it.
for the little time that I have it,
So are we gonna rate Dylan?
All right, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
I'm gonna go
Or at least
mostly.
trim it.
I didn't have
Again.
any cherry slices or beef sticks before, so the flavor I think is pretty good.
I mean, I've washed that flavor out of my mouth at this point. I think I'm getting a pretty
I cleansed it
decent
with a
taste
caps
of it.
beforehand. You know.
All right,
Right,
well,
that is a cleansing beer.
It's again, it's
Solid.
It's a solid beer. It's got 3
Yeah,
up in the
it's-
middle.
It's an
It's
old
never
person
balanced,
beer
but
again. It's an old person beer again.
Yeah, it's an old person beer. I'm good.
I rate it as highly potable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an old person trying to pick up 20-year-olds beer. I mean,
Oh. Wait, I'm hip. I'm drilling. I'm drinking Lakefront Brewery. My turn. All
let's
right.
not leave the bar lighting.
And then they stun you with the question, which one?
Oh,
And you're like,
oh
oh,
no!
shit!
I didn't ask.
It's the Dylan.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Rob, past sentence.
Charge 1 of being slightly rapey. I find you guilty. You're slightly rapey. A little bit rapey.
Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan's a little bit rapey. Charge 2, being offensively unoffensive. I find you not guilty. You're not offensively unoffensive. You're just unoffensive, and that's an okay thing. You know what?
That's fine.
It's hard to have a good day on Beer Court when you're just, when you're just a good solid beer. And I think good
You can
solid
appreciate a
lager.
good solid beer.
Yeah, I can appreciate a good solid lager. So,
We've had much worse.
Yes, oh my God, yes we have.
so sentenced to drinking, of course.
Of
Most
course.
things are, except for that emergency beer.
Cheers.
Good stuff. So,
All right, so what are we really talking about tonight, Rob?
tonight we are talking about the Ataribox. So,
I've
for
got
some
so much to say on
background,
this too.
Is nobody hotter than Atari this summer?
Oh,
I think that's it.
you did.
that's a good
That was
stuff.
that was quite the promo.
So I'm going to start with a few little known facts about the Atari that's doing this. The Atari that's doing this is, it's French, number one. But I can forgive
So is
that
it
because the president of Atari, Atari.
That's more Italian.
Oh,
Yeah, well.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. They're all Europeans. We're Americans. We don't know jack. So, bump. So anyway, this Atari is an Atari that has turned itself around to being profitable. It appears that most of the discussion in the message bases don't know that, but Atari has actually been heading on the road to profitability, and last year was actually pretty profitable, to a few $1 million. So this is an Atari that has been a 30-year loser. Its losing streak's been really, really long, but it's turned around. But it's turned around with a diversification of product. I mean, it's not necessarily the flashback. I'm sure the licensing makes them lots of money, but it's a lot of weird stuff that they've been getting into. They've been getting into gambling. They've been getting into the Rainbow Coalition games, which is an interesting direction for it. I thought that's hey, well, you found yourself a direction to go. So they're now profitable. They're owned by a guy who actually does love Atari. He's both a decent business manager and an Atari lover, which is unusual for Atari. Usually Atari's owned by somebody who just
hates the company.
Yeah, just wants to suck the living hell out of the IP and get on with their life. Or somebody who loves the company and just doesn't know how to do business at all. So that makes this a little bit different from ColecoVision. With the ColecoVision, which was basically just, hey, we're going to give this to somebody else and let them try and make the chameleon, which we know how that
Yeah, how well that worked.
So this is apparently being developed in-house. Their development budget has been raising the last few years, so they have a mid-range development budget. And I don't, number one, it's not, so far as Atari's concerned, at least according to Atari's president, this is not going to be an Android-based emulation device. It is going to play old Atari games, but it's not going to be, he said quite clearly it's going to be PC hardware.
Correct. That's what that is what they have said.
So that would say Intel, AMD, something along that.
Yeah.
It's old Cyrix. It's going to be
Mine-
running old
No,
Cyrix.
I'm betting AMD.
Well,
Hardware.
Keep the prices down.
possibly
Yeah, keep the prices down.
AMD or Intel, because Intel's low power offerings are also relatively cheap.
Are they?
Yes.
Okay, well, maybe. I
And
suspect
they
price point's
have
gonna
to
be
be
an issue.
because Intel's low power offerings have to compete with ARM chipsets, which are cheap as fuck.
Oh my God.
Well, GPD's
So-
been fairly successful with their line of
The Intel.
Windows-based gaming.
But
devices.
they
Yeah, but
Intel.
AMD has also been making forays into making integrated systems, SoCs, the last few years. It's been one of their
So that's a
market
possible
drivers.
licensor for them that's not going to
Yeah.
give them too much.
No, and again, it's.
But yeah, I agree. It could go either
It's
way.
the French,
Yeah.
but being the French market, I would actually lean more towards AMD.
Probably.
The French really, Europeans in general will lean more towards AMD than they will towards Intel.
I don't blame them.
I know, either do I. I didn't say I was blaming
Kinda
them.
funny because that
I'm
would
just
be-
saying, knowing what comes out of Europe.
Yep.
If it was China, I would say differently, but the fact it's coming out of France, I would suspect they're going to use
It would be an interesting choice because it would be a semi-resurgent Atari with a resurgent AMD, which that'd be a good team up. I mean, for this type of thing. Now, they're going to have the Atari back catalog apparently available for it.
That's
so-
the idea.
And then they're also going to have new offerings. And I think that's the only way that they're going to succeed. They have to have something different. They cannot go toe to toe with a Microsoft. They can't go toe to toe with a company like Sony. And I don't think that's their plan. I don't think that their president is that kind of insane nut job. He just has not indicated that he's crazy and think he's going to take them on. However, Nintendo route, it's quite possible. They have strong IP still, and still recognizable IP, and they could go after it. If they can get solid developers to do some solid games, they could make a profit, and here's my main point.
I'm hearing a lot of qualifiers.
There's,
I am
well,
too. There's a lot of ifs and buts going on here.
honestly, they have to follow my advice because I'm sorry,
There's otherwise-
because I know
Yeah,
companies
How
that
many
succeed.
letters have you written?
All of them. I've written all of you. I'm the only one writing any letters anymore. But here's the thing. We have a very Americanized view of how gaming should be done. But I would argue that you should take a Chinese view of how gaming should be done. Atari doesn't have to win.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to make a profit. And that's something I think this Atari can pull off. If it was Atari like 10 years ago, hell no, they would have botched it. And still, they stand a pretty damn good chance of botching it, I would say. But I do think, I wouldn't count them down and out at this point. So that's my opinion on it. I think we'll flip up an Atari picture here and
So-
talk about this thing.
Again, like I like what I see, but there's so little information. And again, I know they're kind of keeping it under wraps, and I know
I think it came out too early. I think they didn't plan for it to really leak.
Yeah, I just-
Probably, yeah.
in an era where we're having all of these, the Coleco Chameleon, like all these failures of projects,
Right.
like it's just like with the little information that we've got, very vague, like oh yeah, it's gonna have Atari Classics and it's gonna have new stuff. Like I just don't think there's enough to sink my teeth into. And again, like the backstory.
It is very problematic.
Yeah, I do like that they mention on their site directly, like, hey, we're gonna, sounds like they're trying to listen to Atari enthusiasts. Which,
Right.
Again, I think is important because again, you're right. They do have a lot of IPs that they could capitalize on.
They got to do it though. That's
Yeah.
the thing. They've got to successfully capitalize on one of their IPs, and they've had a rough time with anything other than
yeah.
some casual games.
Right. So that brings up the point. So Atari, in its day, had quite a few mainstream games. The problem is none of them would hold up well while you're playing it. I mean,
like E.T.?
like
They tell you
pole,
should
like
bring
pole
back
position, like pole position, and so on.
I'm
The-
pulling it up now.
Right. The problem with these games is they would need a great deal of update. But like you said, Atari owns that intellectual property and could capitalize on it with good developers. As much as I hate to say it, I would have lined up developers even before I had hardware. I would have made sure I had software houses ready to go. Because here's the thing: if I produce this piece of hardware, I don't care how good it is.
Yeah.
If I don't have software houses lined up and ready to go,
And here's the other thing too.
Again, I don't think they were ready for this pre-launch. I think
You
what
think they just
happened
got-
was.
I'll go over just real quick here. So they got like Still Own Adventure, Alone in the Dark, Asteroids. I'm just going through the ones I see right away that they still own. This is as of 2015, so this is
so it's fairly
recent.
new list.
Centipede, Breakout.
Do they still own Neverwinter?
But the thing is
I
that
think that was theirs, wasn't it?
I'm not seeing it.
It's
Doesn't
not
no.
on-
So
That's
they might have
Namco.
only produced.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
thank you. Okay, but anyway, the point I was getting to before I pulled this list is, again, a lot of people are suggesting or thinking that it might be something along the lines of an NES or Super NES Classic. And if that's the case, it's probably going to be a failure commercially because people there are definitely groups of people who hold on to fond nostalgia for Atari, but I don't think it's the same level as people that craze of the 80s Nintendo.
well, I was gonna say
Agreed.
too, like if you
Yeah.
are someone who is crazy about Atari too, you have the Atari shit. Why do you need to buy a new thing to
Yeah.
play the old game?
Thank you.
But it will get the suckers.
Right.
I mean, it will
Well,
get us.
sure,
There's no
Some
question.
but
Some
is
people will.
getting the suckers going
It's-
to be profitable
right,
enough
It's
for
definitely
them
gonna
It won't be. It won't
It's
be.
definitely again, and they did.
Well,
already
flashback.
They
I mean,
did the
yeah,
flashback.
it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
No, but
That market's huge.
But they've already released that, and again, like,
Right.
how many times can we keep reselling that product?
yeah, and honestly,
Well, we know at least 8 times
At least
so
six
far.
times. Yeah, there's
so here's the
five
thing, but
divisions.
that's the problem. Then they would be going head to head with Flashback 8, and the Flashback 8 is
Right.
freaking
And I don't think
brilliant.
that's the intent.
I hope that's not their strategy
Yeah.
because
It definitely has to be more.
they
than
will
that.
fail.
So yeah, some more Missile Command.
Ooh, see, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at them. I already said Breakouts. You can keep going.
I
So
think
folklore.
modernizing, and I mean real modernizing, I'm good, thanks, of IP that they have. I think, bringing it into 3D, but you don't have to do, the graphics level of an Xbox One.
No.
I mean, look, Nintendo's competing with something that is obviously not as strong as the others, and they're doing it fairly inexpensively. I think if they can do something to that level, there's probably a market for this. Again, it's not. I don't see the Atari resurgence ever happening soon. Unless they get a really good seller and can build something else, and they'd be it would be suicide for them to enter the mainstream market again. But if they went for people who want to play modern remakes of games that they played in the past and maybe something with a twist, and they can provide that, well, it only takes a few games to succeed. Just ask Nintendo. It only takes a few
They're
strong
like,
games.
oh yeah, let's make a new Zelda. Let's make a new Mario.
Exactly.
You only need like 2,
Very good.
actually.
I
I found this random slideshow on Google, like going through their IP. Again, this must have been some internal use because they've got like some of the more popular IPs on here.
Yeah, they're
Like, wow,
leaky.
there's some really good stuff under Atari's belt still. Like I would like to see some more adventure. I would like, there's plenty of great games that if they took a modern take on, like it can tie into nostalgia as well. But again, it's all going to require some non-existent developer right now.
That's exactly, and I would have tied down my developers again even before
Yeah.
I started doing the hardware development. Because if I can't get any developers to develop for it,
We can hope that they're thinking about that, and but until we see any hard evidence.
yeah, or use a platform that will allow for development. If they are using PC hardware, they could be using any number of development engines as their base,
Yeah.
which would make game development for it quite easy.
Right.
So they could set it up so it runs Unity. And if it runs Unity, I can get any developer to develop on Unity. Not any developer, but most developers can use Unity engine to rewrite pretty much any game.
Yeah.
Especially Atari games. And here's the thing, it's great to have the classic library.
Man, you know what would be great? Like an updated shmup.
I don't know, man, what would be great?
An updated shmup version of Yars' Revenge.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, see,
Like, oh man, like that would
no,
be
see,
great.
now that would be,
I would fucking
that's
buy
what they
that.
have to do though. So,
Write a letter.
the problem is, again, and you guys mentioned this earlier, the nostalgia for Nintendo isn't just the nostalgia. The games played better.
Well,
Alright?
okay, yeah, there's this really big argument that when you hit the 80s, you actually started to get graphics that resembled stuff that
Right.
anybody could look at and say, oh hey, that's Mario,
Right.
that's a plumber. Like you could see Zelda and be like, okay, that's a little like elf looking thing. Like it was discernible graphics. Atari was great and they had some great gameplay, but there were some technological limitations holding it back to being stuff that really stuck in your head and resonated with you for a time to come.
Correct. Even level management, where you couldn't have levels basically because there was no
Only
memory in the
memory to
system.
put- yeah.
Right.
Right.
So there are so many issues
Yeah.
that why their games didn't age well. So the only way to compensate for that is again to have new development on those games,
Yeah.
because it's great to. Again, love it if it plays the old catalog, but if it only plays the old catalog,
They're in
Well,
trouble.
they do have a huge
IP,
backlog of things they can
intellectual
pick
property.
from. Yeah, Return of Tempest, if they could get...
Oh, Tempest, yeah.
they
I'm putting
can
this-
probably get Lamasoft pretty easily on board. I mean, Lamasoft is not a hard company to get on board for your product. Vita did.
I know. I'm just saying that they should have lined that. And they may.
Well, we don't... Yeah,
No, we don't know that.
but-
They may have lined all this stuff up in advance. For all I know, they've got 10, 20 houses already waiting to start developing for it,
Yeah.
which would be great. Again, that goes back down to if they're like they said using PC internals of some kind or another, and if they make it some standard engine compatible, it should be fairly straightforward. They should,
Yeah.
especially updating old games, they should be able to pump those
And if they
out
can
pretty
protect their
fast.
IP to the point where it doesn't end up that these games end up showing up on other platforms very easily. That said, I mean, they don't have to do too much, honestly, because people are more likely to buy things. I know there's like a group that just will do nothing but pirate things, but you don't have to worry about them. They're not going to buy your stuff anyway.
Right.
Most people who are out to buy would rather buy a game than pirate it and play it on another format. I'll buy it, then
something-
pirate it. And play it on
Honestly,
another
no. In all honesty, if I wouldn't even mind having
Hey,
my
look, it's
developers.
Risky Tom. I think this is a good IP to develop.
I would not even have my. I wouldn't lock my developers in. That's great if you develop it for my platform first. Because again, if you're developing on a standard engine, you can send it out
But
to other systems.
Atari's
But
got
at that
their own.
point, like,
I don't
why
need
would you
exclusive
choose an
titles.
Atari Classic over, any other?
Controllers.
Oh yeah, the Atari's controller is really, really.
No,
really
you know
well-
something again.
I know,
We
it's-
talked about
it
it.
doesn't
It's
feel right
monumental.
to get
Emulation versus retro gaming. Retro systems play differently because of the hardware
But this
and the
isn't going to be a
controllers.
retro system.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do with the controller. I
I
think they're going
was
to bring back the Jaguar controller.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dual stick
Well,
Jaguar
You know,
controller.
and that brings up the interesting thing because again, if you look at AT is always very careful to preserve the original controllers. Even on the latest version, the 8, the Gold, they did a great job on these new ones. They're 2.8 gigahertz wireless, but they're still classic style controllers, and that's part of what makes the AT game, the Flashback 8, such a good experience.
Boy, is that a possibility, bringing back something with a semi-classic controller with it?
Wait and see.
Well, I think it depends on what new content that they do.
Yeah.
Right, and you could still have multiple controllers for it. You could have it come with a classic and a new style controller.
That's true.
There's nothing that says you have to have a single controller. I mean,
But money.
It introduces another layer of complexity, introduces extra cost, but
Right.
not much.
well, that
Not for
depends.
yeah.
I mean,
do it.
controllers, like, your standard PS4, Xbox One, Steam, whatever controller is going to be $50 or $60.
Right.
Right, and if Atari is producing something similar for their new system for their modern games, because let's be honest, every single controller for every single console looks almost exactly the same for a fucking reason. It's a tried and true system that works, and no one's really been able to improve on that system yet.
Now-
And I honestly, from the people that brought us stick with button, I don't think we're going to see innovation coming from that.
No, I agree. You're
So,
right.
so you're already getting a $50 or $60 controller
But what does it
machine,
cost?
and then
Stupid
it costs,
buttons.
and then, but of course that's not a cost.
Okay.
But then you're bringing another controller that comes with the machine.
If
at
it's
the
a
cost
if it's
of
a
that
if it's a
device.
wired stick with button controller, it's not that expensive.
God, I want that on a commercial.
Stick with
One of
button.
the guys who brought you stick with button.
Yeah. No. It's, again, here's the thing about it. If they're going to put the retro library on here, they're going to have to offer a stick with button controller.
They are, because there's,
Even if it's not included.
like,
At
it's
that
not gonna,
point, there's
it's not
gonna
going to
be-
be right holding your twin stick
Exactly.
controller with 8 other buttons on it and going,
Yeah. This. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet
They'll have to have paddles.
they're just going to use USB.
Controllers.
Betcha.
Again, PC based. That would not surprise me.
Everything is a PC in the box these days.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true too.
That would be the wisest decision they could make, because then you can just, if you want to play your Atari games with a classic Atari controller, you just go buy one of those aftermarket
USB,
ones
yeah.
or an adapter.
Yeah.
If you really, I don't really see the advantage to playing Atari with an actual Atari controller as opposed to like a modernized version of the Atari controller. I mean, something that looks like an Atari controller is fine, but the original Atari controller, and let's be honest here, even though I love Atari and loved those things, they're built like shit. I mean, they would fail constantly. You don't want to play with that. I like playing with the modernized, even like the flashback controller is like 100 times better than
Yeah,
the original.
but if you go with something like
Sorry,
a Whitco bat or something like that, some of the
That's
classic
badass.
ones were badass sticks. And here's the thing, a lot of those games, early games, were developed to be played with 4-way sticks and a button. And it makes a big difference when you try to do it on a D-pad or on anything else versus using a stick that's got directions. And that's why, again, this goes back down to retro experience. If you want to have the retro experience, nothing says they can't build a better joystick.
yeah.
You know, an arcade stick. They're very cheap. You can get them from
Yeah.
China, well built, like with leaf switches,
Yeah.
for nothing. Why doesn't Atari? There's a good idea if they want to go retro with it.
Yeah.
Get some cheap Chinese knockoff leaf switch controllers, put them in with some nice buttons.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, people like it.
You're gonna get headhunted pretty soon.
My-
Rob.
I'm telling
They really should hire you.
That's Atari, Dan.
My concern.
Right in the balls. Right in
Put
the
her in the
balls.
My concern with this being a system that focuses on retro is that, I mean, quite frankly, that is a market that will only get smaller from, I don't know, 20 years ago forward. Like,
I don't know. I mean,
if they're focusing only on selling to retro people, I mean, sure, like, you guys and the generation following you who had access to an Atari, in your formative years, like,
That's calling
you're
you
gonna
out.
want.
Yeah, he is.
I was doing it in a very diplomatic and nice way, and not just
But you're
calling
still
you-
old, is what he's saying.
I mean,
Yeah.
you want to get those systems and share that part of your, your childhood, your growing up experience with your kids, but your kids may or may not have that same nostalgic draw with that.
I don't know that it's really a nostalgia thing. The arcade stick is still something that sells well today,
Oh, absolutely.
and the arcade game is still a genre that still does well today. I said it years ago when the SNES came out. I said people are going to be playing these games forever. I didn't really say that about the Atari because we knew what they were when we were playing them. Because the arcade was there, we could see.
Yeah, you can see better.
what
yeah.
was coming.
But there-
We
but there-
knew.
Therein
There was
lies-
something not right
therein
about it.
lies my point. You said it yourself. Atari, you didn't say that we're going to be playing these games forever about Atari games, and I think that's the problem.
But I'm impressed that they are. But Atari games aren't just the Atari 2600. They're the Atari 7800.
Sure.
They're Atari's arcade lineup, which
Jaguar.
are those games that.
Now that's interesting. Now that
Oh,
the few games that were available for it were quite good. What? All 10 of them?
Yeah, I could play Doom again.
I
Great
did a
game.
ton.
Yeah, they're
Wait, without analog sticks too.
No, it would be interesting. Yeah, if they're gonna put more than just a 2600 library on here. That's
Oh, yeah.
Well, they've been putting the 7800.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it doesn't.
arcade
They haven't really specified
Yeah.
what libraries they're putting.
God,
in.
There's
Both
not a whole
arcade.
lot, period. Again. about,
Yeah,
like,
you were
this
working
is a
off
lot
of
of
nothing.
hearsay.
Well,
yeah.
again, and you could still put like the Lynx library on it.
Yeah, that would be great.
See,
Lynx had a great
they-
library. That one
all
did
the
not
Lynx,
deserve
the
to
Lynx
die.
had a really
Decent,
good
yeah.
library.
Did
It'd
not
be really
deserve to
cool to
die.
see it to emulate the Lynx as well.
Yeah.
These are all. God,
Jaguar deserved death. But
Ow.
I mean, I love the
Dude,
system.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
No, do you remember your last
But
little
it-
flame war you just
yeah,
had on this?
yeah,
Just
yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah.
It was a conspiracy, damn it! It was a conspiracy!
Everything to Rob.
No,
No,
not
no,
Rob.
no.
Rob, somebody called Rob out and had to go, and they went into a tirade about the conspiracy
Microsoft
against the
is-
time.
And it was like a video about like 5 games for you, Jaguar, that don't suck. I mean, it was about games that are fun.
Yeah,
to
he
play on
was
the
actually
Jaguar
covering
today.
it, and this guy just, it was
He felt it was a conspiracy.
Oh,
yeah.
Rob.
It
You
was
always
not.
attract the crazies, don't
I
you?
do. It happens at the pubs too. You ever notice that?
It's true.
It's the hair.
I think it is. I think it does. It's not long enough to get like the hipsters. It's not short enough to get the yuppies.
So-
I just get the nut jobs.
Like, does anybody
Class.
anybody have an inkling of why they were like, let's decide to release this teaser now? Because like we don't have a lot of information. We got pictures of what the box looks like. We saw the inputs. It's got HDMI. It's got an SD card slot. It's got USB.
I believe it's Kickstarter money.
I would say they're doing the Disney thing. So Disney advertises for their movies like 3 years in advance, and it works for Disney. And maybe they're just trying to like piggyback off of that. Like, oh, it works for Disney, so maybe if we start 3 years from now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I
Atari's
think
a
the
shrewd
biggest
company.
frankly, I think the biggest problem is that Atari
Oh
is
my
going to
God.
have to do a lot of convincing to a lot of people, namely anyone that they want to buy their product, that it's worthwhile to purchase. Because
Is that on 8-bit?
if
No,
their
not
focus is going to be retro gaming and being able to play all your old favorite Atari and Jaguar
Facebook,
and
yeah.
7800
I will.
and Lynx games or whatever the hell, what have you, like. I mean, that's fine. I just don't know that there's really a place for that in
I
the
don't
market
know that
because
that's-
there's so many other systems that they've already licensed their
Yeah.
own content out to.
I think
and they're
they-
going to be competing against those cheaper systems.
I think
Now,
purposely
if
they didn't go that way. I think that's exactly why they were mentioning the fact that they were going to go with new games that
yeah.
explore their
Right.
IP backlog. I think it's like Nintendo does. I think I really wonder if they're going from the Nintendo playbook, honestly, which is we're going to re-release our old stuff on this system. It's been released everywhere else, I mean, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
But we're going to release it on an official platform, and we're going to give you some new games to play, too. It doesn't have to be the most powerful platform, but it is one that plays new revisions of your old games. And unlike Nintendo, they're not really tapped out. I mean, if they can, again, good developers. Instead of what they've been doing, which is getting these proven, like, coin pop-in casual game companies to do these games, what they really should work on is getting some enthusiasts who maybe were in the game back then who want to develop still and are still developing all these little IPs that are like those games.
Yeah.
Get them into the fold and start using them.
Yeah.
They'll work, they might work cheaper, I don't know. but
There are a lot of good indie game
But-
houses, so.
They'll have an interest in actually making a quality product as opposed to something that's a quick ripoff. This is really their last. Well, it probably isn't.
I wouldn't say this is the
It's
last.
their last. It's their last swing for a while at actually having some legitimacy in the gaming market as far as a way
future.
forward.
Yeah.
So I really hope they don't blow it. But they got a history of blowing it, man, because the Jaguar was.
No, wait, no.
Yeah.
I just have to say, one game they can get that will keep them from blowing it: explosive diarrhea. Brand new after the 2600 this year. So, hey, there are new 2600 games. They had it on
Every
sale at
day.
MGC.
Yeah, all right, this is going to be my search history.
Just
for
saying.
forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Atari 2600. It was at Pack Rat Games had it this year.
So, I guess my problem is, like, I don't think
Travis
Atari.
found it.
I don't. Jesus Christ. I don't think that Atari is going to have a lot of, or maybe even any success in trying to penetrate the markets that currently exist, because, like, in the AAA games market, because the way I see it, Atari is looking at three markets that currently exist. There's the AAA market that, PC, Xbox, Sony, and a few other players participate in, including Nintendo now with the Switch actually getting some cross-platform titles being put onto this new system, thanks to it having an architecture that doesn't blow ass.
Don't talk crap about Nintendo.
But and then there's the retro market, which obviously could be very fruitful for them if it wasn't already flooded with products that are officially licensed by them that already sell what they could potentially be selling with the system. And then there's the Nintendo market that Nintendo created for themselves because they're fucking Nintendo and no one else can get in on or participate in that market. It is a market that exists in a microcosm because what
Except
they
those
do,
great touch games.
right? Nobody talks about those, especially Nintendo. It's a market that exists around just a few IPs that they own because they just release games with the same characters that somehow continue to be really different from one another. And Nintendo is successful at this and has been successful at this for the last 40 fucking years. Atari has not been able to carve out a market for themselves. They're not going to be able to penetrate the Nintendo market because nobody can, because it's Nintendo's market, and it's going to die with them if they ever die, which I'm not convinced that they ever will because they're Nintendo.
They make money. I mean,
And then in the
left and
AAA market,
And the suckers like
they would have to have such strong launch titles, and at this point, the AAA market has evolved to the point where nobody has exclusive titles anymore.
That's yeah.
And so, how
would
would
throw
Atari
out-
think they'd be able to get it?
I would throw out things like companies that I work with regularly, GPD. They don't have launch titles, but they're profitable. This is Americanized ideal. I think I said this before you're here. This
Right.
Americanized
No,
ideal that you have to take the
invest.
market.
Yeah.
You don't. You just have to make a machine that makes a profit and do it consistently.
Right,
And
but
that is what Atari.
But Atari could
That's
have
still my
That's what Atari's doing
concern.
now.
That's still my concern. I'm not sure they could be profitable no matter what market they try to attack. Because they just don't. They don't have the name. They don't have the share. I
Yeah.
don't know that they have the connections that they need.
But no,
anymore to do
but
that.
Travis read off some of the intellectual property they still own. Honestly, you could put.
Well, yeah, they're still rolling.
You could re-release some of those, a new updated version of those games for your launch titles,
Yeah.
and I think you would do just fine.
I think.
Yeah. But then again, it just like it hinges on so much if. That's the.
I know.
There is a lot of
if,
if.
And
if has been the word of the evening.
Well, I mean, and here's the thing, like, it hinges on really people who are are already familiar with Atari, are already familiar with like arcade systems and stuff like that. Is that a lot of people? Yeah. Are there a lot of other people that they probably want to go out and buy their system and buy these new IPs for their titles that they're re-releasing for all their IPs that they have? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, if you put a list of Atari titles in front of me that they owned, and I had no other context, I would read through the list and go, I don't know how these relate to one another. Because I don't know a fucking thing one about Atari, and there are a lot of people like me out there in the world, in the game market, that they want to be able to spend money on their products. I'm not going to buy an Atari console. I don't know anything about them. I don't have any nostalgia for their products.
That's
Well,
why
I think that's
they
the
put a
problem.
teaser out 5 years in advance.
and the teaser is generating a lot of buzz. I mean,
And-
they've been picked up by a lot of the
Yeah,
major
that's
publications, all talking about.
Sure.
And the
And we have a
vagueness,
show about it.
The vagueness of it. Yeah, they got
But
us.
now Matt,
Right, they
who
got us to
doesn't
do a
know or
show.
care, now knows about it because they put a teaser out for it,
And
So
Atari-
far in
And I
advance.
still don't care about it.
and Atari branded
Not
products.
yet.
Atari branded products are on every shelf, on every in every department store and every game shop in America.
Absolutely.
So it's not going brand, and this is kind of one of the things that kind of brings it back to you look at this versus what Coleco was attempting. Coleco wasn't attempting things in house. They're a money grab company. They're
They always have been.
well, yeah, I mean, but they're not a real company as such. They don't develop IP. They don't do anything. Atari does. They also don't have connections. Now, Atari has deals with companies. Atari does actually develop IP. They do sell their stuff. They do work with different groups. They do actually work with hardware manufacturers as well, even if it's just at games. But we'll just let that. But they do have resources at their disposal. They just don't have a lot of resources at their disposal. They don't have a Nintendo level or any of the majors. But arguably, they're big enough to carve out profit. I think definitely. I mean, I'm kind of looking at their back catalog. There's like a lot of stuff you could come back to and just rebuild. God dang it, Minimum only went ahead. That was a great game. That makes me sad. I love that game.
It's fun.
Isn't it? It's a good game. See, if they could just keep doing that, and yet Minimum fell apart because Minimum didn't fail Atari. Atari failed Minimum.
And see, I think this also kind of illustrates my point. I had no idea that Atari had anything to do with Minimum. I was like, oh, this is a cool game. I'm going to play it. And then, it disappeared off the face of the planet. I had no idea that Atari had a name attached to it. And that's kind of the problem. Atari does have their fingers in a lot of pots. They're a profitable company now. They have a lot of good business relationships, but fucking nobody sees their name anywhere except for maybe 2 seconds on a splash screen before a game.
Roller Coaster Tycoon. One of the
Two.
best-selling franchises
I was gonna say,
in PC
but-
game history.
Right.
I just
Here's
read
the
that
thing,
out
though.
there.
To Matt's point, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If people are buying the games and they're making money, do you need to know that it's Atari? Because,
you're trying-
I buy Nestle products all the time.
Right.
And I don't say, oh, this is a Nestle product, I'm going to buy that. No, you just buy a candy bar.
Right.
And Nestle's making money hand over fist. And, does it matter?
If you are trying to sell something through your name, if you're trying to sell something, a branded item that is actually going to be have your name facing it, and it doesn't turn a profit, then yeah, it matters.
Okay.
That's
Fair point.
the
Fair point.
difference here. So they're making a lot of profit doing a lot of different things that people just half the time don't know that Atari had anything to do with.
Right.
But this is a console from Atari. Like they're putting their name front and center in this whole ordeal. And that's the big difference.
I would
That's
say
a fair point.
Now they're actually selling their brand. They're not just selling a product that they put money into.
But
I
to
would
go
see
back
a
to-
problem with them making sure that they can be differentiated from flashback. That would be
I think
just
also,
in people's minds.
yeah.
Right, because
Right.
that I think is going to be another part of the issue is, because AT has already basically developed the Atari brand. They make them look like Atari units. They, it's the Atari flashback. Yeah, it's going to be, that's the other thing. How are you going to differentiate
What were you
yourself?
saying, Laura?
I was just going to say,
Because I
to go
don't
back to what
I
the
did.
points that we all keep making is that we just don't know.
Exactly.
Like the fact that
Yeah.
they are trying to advertise this far in advance means that maybe they are trying to say, okay, here's our teaser, and then a little bit later say, okay, now these are some of the games that you might like to play that are associated with us. Like maybe that's what they're trying to do
Yeah.
to get more brand recognition and to get, I don't know. Who knows what they're trying to do?
I mean,
They
Right.
haven't given us any information.
I mean, the goal of their teaser could have been just to have people start talking about it. Maybe they already know what the hell they're going to do, and they're sure that they're going to, make a bunch of money or even enough money to call it a profit.
Right.
And we're just blowing smoke, but we're getting people to talk about and think about Atari again for the first time in 30, 40 years.
well, they've
Maybe
only
that's
been
all
in a
they're doing.
position to talk about for the last year or so.
That's true. That's very true, because for a while they were just like,
The only story you can get is, well, Atari lost another $5 million this year. Good job, Atari. On top-notch sales.
Atari, we're surprisingly still alive.
That should have been their slogan.
They just poke their head up every once in a while, like, we're still here.
Atari, I'm more machine now than man.
But yeah, I do see a lot of comparisons to Coleco, and I just don't think that that's a fair comparison. I just don't think Coleco has any. There's
Something
not.
I think
There's
Coleco
nothing
not
left.
nearly
of
Yeah,
Coleco.
Coleco had great games for the time, but again, Atari has the IP.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Coleco would be a great IP in the right hands.
Right,
If
but
you
not
cared to
not
revive
that
it,
group
but
that tried to do it. They were just trying to.
They screwed up. I don't know. They might have had. See, there's some problems because legally, I know that if you don't defend an IP, you lose it. So that might have sparred it. It might have been like a thing where their lawyers twisted their arm to do this kind of thing. Hey, if you want to revive the brand, you're gonna have to do this. But boy, it just went the wrong way for them. I'm not really gonna get into ColecoVision's
No,
woes,
we
but-
did a whole show on this.
Yeah, but it is too bad. It is what it is right now. I mean, probably from both sides. I'm sure. Well,
Was it similar to this show right now?
Yeah, it was.
it's a
What
bit,
about this box?
but way ugly.
Yeah.
No,
It's just way ugly.
There was
It's
yeah,
just-
because
There was
they-
no good guy there.
But that's because
Except for the guy
Right
trying to
now
get
we're being
homebrewers.
nice because we don't know.
they had made a lot of promises, and that was what the problem was. They were a lot further along in this whole project, if you will, for the Coleco box, and they just
Oh, you're talking about all the Chameleon?
Yeah.
Well, they just rebranded that retro thing.
yeah, I know. So well,
But
Retro
also,
magazine.
and again, I'm going through Coleco's original games, and I'm just like, okay, 1 in 10 people have maybe heard of that.
Hey, they got Smurf.
Montezuma's Revenge.
Oh, that game is
a
epic.
great game.
It's a great game, but it was like, oh man, I've got this real great fondness for, not many people.
I think it's.
Yeah, I mean, I never
It
heard of
was too.
ColecoVision until I started hanging out with you fuckers. So.
I think Montezuma's Revenge actually got a. I know it's been rebooted on Android. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it sold pretty well.
But yeah, so it's just like, I'm just
Only
like,
because it's a good game.
I'm looking at ones that were more specific to the Coleco, and again, Atari just has those IPs.
Yeah.
And I really hope they leverage them. Like,
That will be what makes it breaks it. Again, that goes back down to if they do the right things, if they do that, if they take the advantage of their intellectual property and bring it up to date and launch that with it. They don't. Again, all you have is another retro console. That's
I
a
think
billion
Parker
dollars
Brothers
already.
owned Montezuma's Revenge anyway.
Yes, they
didn't
did.
It was originally a PC
That was a
game.
Parker Brothers game.
It was
Parker
originally
Brothers
PC
owned a
game.
lot of games actually back then. Again, we'll see what happens. It's
a hard road.
a
It's
hard
not a-
road. I don't envy them their task. I think I
Yes.
would love to see them succeed. Do I have a lot of confidence in them succeeding? No, I don't. I think they're going to fail. I personally do. I really do. I would love to see this project.
I think it really depends what the real problem is I just don't have a direction for them. I don't know what they're trying to do, and that is,
A little clearer mission statement.
I got my nose to the low profit area, grindstone, and I know you can do some amazing things with not a lot of profit if you're, one of the things is that these companies require so much to run. Well, Atari's pretty thin. It's thin like a Chinese company. That's why I really look at the Chinese template when I see how to make a successful low-end game company. And Atari runs thin like that. They've only got like 12, 13 employees. They don't have a lot of actual in-house employees. They contract a lot out for projects, and they're going to kickstart this. They already announced that. It's going to be a kickstart, so that's a zero-risk game for them. So they could just make the stupid thing on a kickstart, and that could at least just make them a profit and be done with it. If they wanted to, they could just use it to kickstart their other IPs, and that might be what they're doing. Could be. Don't know. Or it could be the start of Atari's revenge against the entire video game industry.
They're coming back to get you Nintendo.
I just
Atari's revenge
imagine.
against Microsoft.
I just imagine the president of Atari in a Napoleon hat. I will take the whole market.
Oh, man.
Napoleon wasn't German, Rob.
My accents are real good. Yeah, man.
That's okay, I can only do
It
a
was a
German
good
accent
French
these days.
rap.
Yeah, I was trying to go French
Yeah, it was
with
a
it,
good
but
French
Our
It
French
got-
accent's very bad.
apparently anytime you get
Italian.
angry,
You
you sound
Italian,
you sound German. Apparently when you're angry.
That's what we get for being in the Midwest.
But
I
it'd be
sound southern.
hilarious
I
10
sound
years from
southern,
now
like,
for
A
talking about.
bunch of Germans, that's all we got.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if anybody's had a comeback. A really solid well, I mean, Sony, people were talking about them getting out of the market in the last generation. They turned it around. But they have a lot of money back.
That's not a comeback. They're a multi-billion-dollar.
I was gonna say,
Nintendo,
like, some people were speculating, but I feel like it never was like, for a casual person, you were never like, oh, is Sony gonna?
Right.
They're
Yeah,
like,
we
no,
never
the
felt that way
PS4 is
about
gonna
Atari
come.
either, or Commodore, and
Right.
both of them are
Yeah, but-
nobody now. so.
Right, but again, Sony has deep pockets, and deep
They're
pockets
pretty-
can keep you floating a long
I mean, they
time.
pulled out of TVs for a long time.
Yeah.
They came back into that. I'm trying. Nintendo for a while after the N64 and GameCube, there was some talk that they were.
Well,
they were
I
gonna
talked
go
a ton of
down.
shit
Well,
about
no,
the Switch. And
No,
how
I think about that.
I kind of knew that.
Until the
was
Wii,
it was the Atari.
Nintendo was kind of wandering in the woods. I mean, yeah, they still had all their handhelds,
Still made plenty of money.
and then they're
Yeah,
right.
They were really.
They were not
That's the
hurting.
difference
No,
between them
right.
and Atari. They've been
Their
historically really
consoles
good at
were
making money.
their
no matter
consoles
what.
weren't going anywhere, but they were still doing great.
That's
at
like
it.
a Fortune
Right, I mean-
500 company being like, oh, we had a bad year.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, we
Yeah,
still
I
made
mean,
billions of dollars.
for Nintendo, and I'll make fun of them for it till the day I die, even though what have I got? They just kind of fucked around for a few years.
They experimented.
They were getting there.
That's fine.
College
That's fine,
experimental
yeah.
years.
What they didn't experiment on
Was
were
butt
their,
stuff.
well, that's true, were their handhelds, and they make a fucking
Yeah.
fuckload of money in their handhelds.
To be fair, the DS was a pretty big experiment, and then we're like, oh hey, we're gonna make 3D, and that was a pretty big
Yeah,
experiment. Like,
yeah.
it's
Well, the touch.
Oh, I remember when they
already
thought that was
kind
dead
of-
meat.
yeah, but doing two screens, again, that was a really the original DS2 was a fucking hunk of brick.
Yeah.
Like that was
Yeah.
a really big risk to take. I think they refined it really well, but it was definitely a risk.
Well, the 3DS
Right.
did horribly at
But
first.
I would say, but there's
Snap
also
back from it.
people like me who is a sucker for Nintendo, and even if they make a shitty product, I'm still gonna buy it.
That's true.
I mean,
That's true. And
Yeah, let's be Atari.
all to their credit, they've got the fan base, they've got the multiple markets that they're in, and obviously the handheld market where they just fucking dominate in,
Yeah.
aside from cell phones, but Nintendo doesn't count those, and neither do any of the journalism entities. But I mean, they have been, and for the foreseeable future will be the only true company in the handheld market, and that's because they're we're fucking good at this. We're gonna take risks, but we're not gonna fuck it up. Whereas with the consoles, they were just
They were willing to fuck it up.
fuck it, let's give it a shot.
I think
Let's give it a shot. So, like, I think they saw what they did with the DS, and were like, you know, what would be cool is if a console did that. And then everyone was like, no! Stop it! And then they were like, what if our console was just a handheld that you could hook up to your TV? And everyone was like, well...
hey, NVIDIA, how's that shield doing? And NVIDIA's like,
What are you talking about? There's a shield in every Switch.
nice. Oh, it hurts.
I mean, at this point, the shield was basically a proof of concept for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Well, it was a proof of concept anyway.
Well,
so
that's true. But boy, oh boy,
Yeah,
did that
that was,
concept
yeah.
turn out. Like, it really came to fruition. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
that's good.
NVIDIA is doing fine. I mean, NVIDIA is the #1 selling Android-based set-top box. But
Yeah.
I don't know what
Absolutely.
that means. I mean, they're making money, I guess. It's
Well,
not.
I mean, Android TV is becoming increasingly popular because they're basically just included it in televisions these days now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got
and it's a good product, and it's so like people are being like, oh, I want something like an Apple TV, but I hate Apple, and Nvidia's like, hi.
I know,
You
right
heard of
here.
the Shield?
Hey, we got this thing or not? Well,
Yeah.
Well, again, it was a proof of concept. They wanted to prove that it could be used for small electronics and have a lot of power. So that's, I mean, they did make the dominant handheld Android gaming machine. It's just
Yep.
they're too big of a company to survive, to justify that kind of thing. If it would have came out with a smaller company, I'm sure it would have been fine. But
Yeah,
it's
and
just
like,
too big of a company.
and for all the power that they were able to put in to a chip like that, I mean, the actual Android marketplace for games was never gonna.
So how
never gonna
how
pick
long
up
till the
for that.
how long till the fire starts? Like the little Nintendos just start lighting on fire because of the heat generated by these new chips.
Well,
How long?
hopefully they
long?
shrunk the manufacturing process for the Switch, but I don't know. I haven't looked at the actual hardware specs. I just know that it's
I'm waiting for the
firmly in
flambés to
there.
tell you the truth.
Yeah, just don't bring them on planes. They'll be fine.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, just like
Even though in their
Samsung.
commercials it specifically tells
can't
you
bring
to
them
bring
on
them on
planes.
planes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's funny.
it's just like do it anywhere, flying in the sky, playing Zelda. Like
That's funny.
I'm gonna bring my Microsoft.
But you're not allowed to bring Samsung whatever is on
that's
the
true.
plane anymore.
I'm gonna bring my
Yeah,
Microsoft
yeah.
tablet with its bursting battery on the plane. Hey guys, look,
No problem. I'm just right through here.
left and right. God, Microsoft is good at damage control. Anyway, their battery problems are huge. But anyway, so
Really?
Atari,
Yeah.
we just don't know. I think
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
couldn't even make it a full episode
The
because
only-
there's not enough information to
the
sink your
only
teeth in.
the only thing
I mean,
really
just,
just
yeah, we've done pretty good.
We
We've
rambled
been
on
going
for
for
quite a bit.
I know, to be fair though, the last like 15, 20 minutes had nothing to do
Yeah. But I really just wanted to
That's
set some of the records straight so that, so people aren't surprised when things come out a little bit differently from what they expected, because there's way more news group chat about the Ataribox than there is actual news from Atari from it. But they have released news. It's just people didn't read it, apparently.
What is a new?
They're not good at conveying it though.
No, they're not.
A lot of it, again, was they had like a couple of interviews where they released a little more information. A lot of it was pulling apart information from this tiny little teaser.
Yeah,
like,
it is a tiny tease.
yeah, it's
If you
just
haven't
like,
seen the video yet, we'll have a link.
I don't think they were the greatest at conveying information, and I don't think there's a lot
I don't
out
think
there
they meant
actually.
to. I honestly
Yeah.
think it seems a lot to me like the information leaked. It blew up. I don't know that Atari was expecting as much fanfare as they were getting. I don't know that they were expecting it because they've not lived in the limelight for a while, and it did. It gave them 2 minutes of limelight. I mean, most gamers have now heard Atari's trying to release a new console. Now, the feelings about it, are mixed, but
Yeah.
most people know, and I don't know if Atari was really ready for that. I mean, they're busy just trying to make money. I think that's their Atari's new focus is we're going to actually try and make a profit. And
Right.
hopefully they're going to use that template for this because, them making money means that they'll have a successful console, successful enough to, carry on or give us some enjoyable games that we can enjoy. And that's really all I want is enjoyable games that I can enjoy. Let's use the word enjoy twice in that sentence. I really want games that I'm going to enjoy, and I wouldn't mind harkening back to some of those back catalogs. So I'd love to see it. It's hard to say because this is an Atari we don't know much about. This is not the total loser Atari, but then again, this isn't Atari in its heyday. And quite honestly, Atari in its heyday wasn't a very good company anyway.
Yeah.
It was not a well-run company. So
It was a good place to work and do drugs, though.
yes.
There are lots of
At the end of
stories.
the day, isn't that what we all really want?
There are lots of stories about the early days of Atari.
I think we can just let it end with Atari's best days were mired in drug usage.
Yeah, pretty much so.
So we had 2 notes to give to Atari and be like, hey, go ahead, tap into those IPs and make them new and fresh, and B, maybe do some drugs.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't really
I'm
think
gonna
they can
go-
handle
no,
it.
I am going with the second note. I am with them on this.
I actually
Pretty sure that's what caused Atari to go down. Was it
You have a
drugs?
follow-up question. man.
Okay, don't do too many drugs. Just do
Just
the
right
amount.
level.
Just enough.
Just
the right
right.
amount of
I don't-
drugs.
How many drugs? I don't know. Maybe we can take
Probably-
4 drugs.
I don't know. I'm not very
It's different
experienced
for
in
every
drugs.
Right, yeah.
It's
yeah,
different for everyone.
All the
that's right.
crowdfunded money is going to go to drugs.
It's going to go for Atari drugs.
And then they'll
I
have
should totally put that on Kickstarter.
All
All
of
money
it
will
is
go
going
to
to
drugs.
I'm actually now kind of wondering, maybe this was like a bet from one of the full-time employees at Atari to another one of the other full-time employees at Atari, betting that they need a real marketing department to
I
actually
hear they all have to
explain to
hold.
people what the fuck they're doing.
And they say like, nah, we don't need
This was
that.
all an elaborate ruse.
Right.
I'm almost sure it was a leak. I know.
I'm going along with it was a leak.
The Atari president kind of indicated that that's been one of his pet projects for a while. So it may have been simmering for more time, but they're just not. They just weren't ready. They're just not ready. I don't
Yeah.
think. I think we're not going to see anything really surface
For a
about
bit,
this for the next
yeah.
few months.
Yeah.
And then maybe they'll do a flurry of activity and get a kickstart going. But I don't think we're going to see anything real soon.
I just
Yeah.
subscribed to their site that says we have more news to share with you in the coming weeks.
There we go.
In the coming weeks.
So we might revisit this topic when we actually know something.
All right.
Maybe they
All
hired
right.
a marketing
Guys,
department.
Games, and Beer, the only
Yeah, they're
podcast that can talk about nothing for forever.
At least an hour.
We did, what was the precursor to the Clico Chameleon? We talked about that thing, the retro, yeah.
All right, take us out, Rob.
Alright, so real quick, I got a couple of shout outs to 8th Shore Development. They want you to know that Invoker came out on the 20th, and you should try it out. We had them on just a week ago.
Yes, yeah, and you should try it out.
And-
I finally got a chance to get into it now, so.
They're on a 40% discount, so
Holy
we're
crap.
checking them out. We've got links down in the interview with them.
So
Also,
you should wait and pay full price.
That's right. We want them to succeed, so give them more money.
I'm super good at this. Who wants to
Darn
hire
right.
me?
Also, Monolith, which was also on recently, had a content update on the 19th that they'd love for you to know about. That's D13. They were also in our recent views, so big shout out to them and congratulations to Eric out there because he's a good fella. Yeah, they're having a week long. Oh, that might be over.
Oh.
No. Nah, yeah.
Okay, no, you
just
missed
ended.
it. You missed it. See?
Did you miss it? No, you
This
missed
is
it.
why you gotta watch the show.
It's only like the game is so cheap for the
I
company.
know, I
Yeah,
know.
don't complain. Honestly, either way.
Oh my god, a discount on something that's $10.
Hey, every penny.
Yeah.
Look, I waited until Doom dropped to 15, okay?
Which is kind of sick. I bought it like day one.
I know you did. I waited until it dropped to 15.
And then, of course, finally, Cloud-Based Prime, which has
Oh,
also been
yeah,
on the
they-
show. I'm sorry, I just got a flurry of like emails from these guys asking if we could, update people on what they're up to.
Yeah, they just.
Holy crap, they've added content.
Yes, they have. I just saw it. It just came up on my Steam feed today of all
Yeah.
new content. Holy crap, they've been busy.
They've been, we've really been coming along with that. I like that game a lot too. It's-
Right, if you haven't checked out this
Cloud-based
game,
Prime.
it is a very unique game. They were on the show ages ago now. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. but
And the
they're
old
really
studio,
good.
back in the old
Yeah,
days.
they were back at the old studio, but this is a really unique concept for a game.
They had the whole jumping flash vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot
it
of
did.
jumping
That-
flash
yeah.
influence.
And
We're saying openly say, yeah.
right, and again, but the whole thing is graphically and everything. It was a really nice fit on the game. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, check out Cloud-Based Prime.
Yep, and that's about it.
All right, take us out, Rob.
Thank you very much for watching Guys, Games, and Beer, or listening to, which is probably what you're doing, because nobody actually watches the show.
Nobody wants to see us.
No, really don't.
No, they
Trust
don't.
me.
It's kind of scary. You can check us out at www.guysgamesandbeer.net. What? On the Facebooks? Yeah, we're on here all the time. In fact, we're right now live on Facebook as I'm recording this. Of course, you're probably not listening to it live. But on Facebook, www.facebook.com/guysgamesandbeer. It's excellent. By the way, if you like us on Twitter, because we've got like 1 billion followers right now.
Oh, we are close to 1 billion now, yeah.
Yeah.
Any day now.
Man, we have been getting a lot of
Action.
Our time's
But
coming.
it's all-
all developers.
It's
that
literally
are trying to get on the show.
Our Twitter feed is almost all developers.
Hey,
I mean, literally almost all developers, and I'm good with that. But that being said, tomorrow is Thursday, tomorrow's Wednesday, so I will give out at least a game, maybe 2 tomorrow on Twitter. So if you're watching us live now, follow the Twitter feed, keep an eye on it. Remember, it's first come, first serve. I'll stick up at least a code or 2 tomorrow for a couple of free indie games.
That is so darn excellent. Speaking of, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. I am so sorry that I...
It's all the drugs.
It is all the drugs.
It is.
He
It's
had
all the drugs.
Great amount of
his
drugs.
Kickstarter. His
To 200
Kickstarter.
drugs.
His Kickstarter went really well for the drugs.
We should start a fake Kickstarter by Rob Drugs.
Oh, yeah. One more. It does look like I haven't... I'm going to confirm this, but tentatively it looks like we're probably going to have a key for Space Tyrant, which... It's I've been doing that one on my station. I'm probably going to try and get these guys on. Space Tyrant is I guess it's a space exploration game with conquering in it. It's it's really polished. I mean, this thing is super mega polished, I guess is the term for it. It is one of those games that you can play for an hour, but its depth is just amazing. So you can like gloss over the surface and play, and then you've got like all this depth underneath. Amazing graphics, great gameplay if you like your games turn-based, and I think I'm going to have a key for it for the end of the week. It looks like they give you an extra one. So,
That would be a good free game.
so I'll chat with them, make sure it's okay to give it away. If it is, Space Tyrant is a really, really good game. And seriously, I think I got like 30 hours into it, which does not happen with me. So, yeah, that's it for Guys, Games, and Beer. We will see you next Tuesday as we talk about the lump that I developed on my penis. I don't know what we're talking about this week, but we're going to talk about something.
We can all tell you about the lump on his penis.
So long.
Bye!
Nerds. I know I transitioned to the same scene.